All right, hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect that is scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, that believe wholeheartedly in the true doctrine that is being pushed throughout the four winds of the earth, who are in hope of mercy and salvation during the time of Jacob's trouble, as well as when Yahweh Shai returns to the planet Earth. To you and to you only, I say shalom. This will be another video, and I think I'm going to entitle this video Soon to Come to Babylon the Great. All right? And this is based upon what took place and still is taking place in Nepal. All right, how they calling it the Gen Z protest, and they basically ran the government off, and now they have an interim minister, which is somebody in there for the time being, that said they promised to restore what the former government had was corrupt about. And it wasn't only the banning of social media. All right, it was a lot deeper than that. But the banning of social media, or not the actual banning of it, but the new policies and things. Watch, we're gonna read a little bit so you know exactly why these people did what they did to this to their country. And like I said, they have an interim minister in there, which is a woman for the time being, but the cost and damages is in the billions. All right, so, and the government is falling. Okay, so we don't know what's gonna come of it. As of 18 hours ago, I got an article. The interim prime minister, all right, for Nepal, which is this woman you see here on the screen, she vows to fix the failure that led to deadly Gen Z protests. All right, and when you read this whole article, which I'm not going to go into, I may come back to it and read a little bit. It's not too long, but it tells you here that the losses from the damage could reach 1 billion to a billion and a half. Coleman Chissing, Minister for Energy, Physical Infrastructure, Transport, and Urban Development. So they gonna be pretty much lawlessness over there right now. All right, there's really no I'm sure there's some type of control now that they ran the former government, or the officials, the former prime ministers and things that were passing the unjustness, which we're going to read about. But their cities are still torn. Buildings, government buildings and different officials' homes were set on fire. All right? And all this chaos and confusion that took place, where they gonna get all the money and the order, get things in order to restore that country? All right, and I think it's less than likely that it goes back to the restoration that it was, because we're in the midst of the entire world signing on to this new world order. All right. And this is what's taking place over there. All right. They're putting these draconian measures on the people, and they straight up said they wasn't having it. All right. So who knows what can come of what the damage has been done over there already. And they only have rocks and things to throw at the police and whatnot. They don't have weapons like here in Babylon. All right. So when it does come to Babylon, and it will come, it's going to be a lot deadlier. All right. because this country went to the point of no return. It was either give us liberty or give us death, and this is why they went out there and did what they did. All right, and I'm gonna show you some video, and these are the things Yahweh Shai said to look out for his second coming. Before we go to the video, let's read. I typed in why are the people of Nepal protesting, right? So let's read down a little bit. This gives you a pretty much an overview. It's a pretty good one as well. Based upon other, you line it up and okay, it's pretty good report on why and the state of that place as of right now. All right. It says mass protests led primarily by young people, dubbed the Gen Z protests, erupted in Nepal September 2025, culminating in the resignation of the prime minister. All right. The unrest was triggered by a social media ban. All right. And it wasn't an actual ban. All right. It was different ways and things you had to, which we'll read. Let's read. It says, but was fueled by long-standing, deep-seated public frustrations over government corruption. Is that not what's happening here in America? All right. People are tired of the corruption of the current administration. All right. They've been tired of what's going on in Babylon since Sleepy Joe was in there. And then here come this guy, DJT, promising this, that, and the third, and to make America great again. And the people are seeing that he reneged on everything he said. All right. Nepotism. All right. When you know what nepotism is, that's exactly what's going on here in Babylon. Let's look that word up, nepotism. All right. This is where, or another word, the rich stay rich. All right. And the poor get poor. It's another way of saying nepotism. All right. It says favoritism shown to relatives, especially in appointment to high office. And that's what they see what's going on. And the people are being totally shat on. All right. So they wasn't having it. They were like, nah, we and this is why they took to them streets. All right. Let me read from here again. It says the unrest was triggered by a social media ban, but was fueled by long-standing, deep-seated public frustrations over government corruption, nepotism, and a poor economy. Same thing that's happening in Babylon the Great. All right? It says on September 4th, 2025, the government banned 26 media platforms. This is the intermediate trigger, right? Including Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, citing their failure to register under new regulations. And that's what it was. The regulations had to be on some bullshit. All right? It says government justification. Authorities claim the ban was necessary to stop misinformation, hate speech, and other crimes. So these small hatters, and what you're gonna find out is that they're grabbing up all these platforms so that they can control or try to control the narrative. Okay? Because I'm gonna show you here in Babylon, it was a deal made that an American small hatter, right? Him and another Idumean, they own 80% of TikTok now. All right? So the censorship is gonna go through the roof. All right? And this can be a trigger to get people. Once the people find these things out, all right, it'll be a trigger like it was in Nepal. Okay? It says public perception. Many young people viewed the ban as an attempt by the government to silence criticism and curb free speech. And that's what you're hearing here in Babylon. All right? The people are saying the same thing. Okay?
care grievances. The social media ban was the spark that ignited years of underlying public anger. And it's been years of underlying public anger here in Babylon, especially since 2020. All right. The protest central motivations were corruption and elite impunity. Protesters organized largely online highlighted the lavish lifestyles of the political elites and their children. What you think DJT just did at that dinner where he invited all those technocrats, all right, at the White House, okay? And he's even talking about having a boxing match or some type of fighting event at the White House come next year, okay? What do you think that was? That's exactly what was going on over there in Nepal. All right, and the people was getting tired of this shit, and then the ban on their only way of free speech and to speak out against the corruption was was basically taken. Then they took to the streets. All right, so this could be the same energy, and Nepal could have been a test run. All right, to see how the people will react. Okay, and this could be a test run and an actual run. All right, because we're in the midst of this beast system being established. Okay, it says the lavish lifestyles of political elites and their children using the viral hashtag Nepo babies to draw attention to wealth disparity. The public perceived the political class as a corrupt clique that protected one another. Economic hardship. Nepal faces a youth unemployment rate exceeding 20%. And I think they say here in Babylon, unemployment is at 13 or 14, some maybe percent. All right? Which I believe that's bullshit. I believe it's a lot higher than what it is they're saying, because there are far more homeless, and the homeless is continually to grow. And not homeless on drugs. I'm not talking about the derelicts and the the drug heads and the base heads and the prostitutes and this, that, and the third. I'm not talking about that homeless. I'm talking about people just down on their luck, young people. All right, and they all on social media basically clocking their being homeless, living out of their vehicle, showering at the gym. They get real religious. These young people, okay, especially these women, too proud to humble down and submit to a man. So now the Lord got you out there homeless. All right. Economic hardship. Nepal faces a youth unemployment rate exceeding 20%, prompting many young people to seek work abroad. The protests viewed the government as failing to address economic stagnation and create opportunities for its citizens. And that's exactly what's happening here in Babylon. Jobs are being totally disappeared, and mainly through AI. All right? AI is taking over everything. Police brutality. The demonstrations turned deadly on September 8th when police opened fire on largely peaceful protesters, killing at least 19 people. This action fueled outrage and escalated the unrest, leading in even larger, more violent demonstrations. And as these protests continue to happen in Babylon, don't be surprised if shots get to ringing out that really set it off. Because once one body drops, it's over. All right? Government instability. Since transitioning to a republic in 2008, Nepal has seen more than a dozen governments, with key political parties perceived as being locked in a cycle of corruption and power grabs. All right, so you get the gist of what. It wasn't just the social media. It was basically a boiling pot, and it finally got to the point to where the people had enough. And it's all due because of oppression of the government. All right. Aftermath of the protest, prime ministers resignation on September 9th, and amid escalating violence and public fury, Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli resigned. All right. Interim government, after a Discord server hosted a mini election to nominate a new leader, from Chief Justice Sushila Karki was appointed interim prime minister on September 12th. She became Nepal's first female prime minister and is tasked with holding new elections in March of 2026. So we don't know what's going to happen over there by March of 2026. All right. It could be because best believe they still going they still got to deal with all that damage. All right, and ain't no telling what's going on over there as far as the atmosphere in the land. Okay. It says the violence led to at least 72 deaths and more than 2,000 injuries. All right, and just because that don't mean jobs are just gonna start popping up because they threw that government out. That don't mean that. All right. So, and let's bring in the scripture, because this is nothing more but 2ndEsdras 15, and we seeing it happen. All right, 2ndEsdras 15. We'll get that one, and then we'll get 2ndEsdras the 9th chapter, because what we're seeing is biblical prophecy, uproars of the people. Let me bring in another tab. We're seeing uproars of the people. Okay. And like I said, the social media or TikTok, one of the main one, because the reason that one is the most used social media platform is because people are getting paid off of it. All right, that platform is paying more than any other platform. All right, for not even being having a big following like that. On them other platforms, you got to have a greater following to get compensation from them. All right, so this is gonna cause people, to start wigging out, man. All right, because like I said, I typed in Google. I said, was TikTok? I meant sold. Let me see. Was TikTok sold to the Israeli government? And it says no, right? TikTok was not sold to the Israeli government. A recent deal prompted by a U.S. law requiring its Chinese owner ByteDance to sell or be banned involves an American investor, right? Now these small hatters, they be having dual citizenship. And they in every government, all right, for the betterment of the state of that place over there, smack dab in the middle, all right, where them small hatters dwell, claiming to be us, all right. They have little minions in every government so that they can do the bidding of what they want. Their countries to do the bidding of what they want, and this is exactly what's happened with the deal that was made with these so-called American investors, right? It says an American involves an American investor consortium acquiring a majority stake in TikTok's U.S. and the amount is 80%. All right. Operations. This has, however, prompted concerns about the platform's future content moderation. Okay, so they trying to stop and control the narrative. Stop what the people are thinking and control the narrative of how they want it. All right, because they're being exposed. And I'm gonna show you that this deal that was made, it was made with Salakia. Look, the cause to address anti-Semitism, right? So the dudes, here they are here. Investor background: Oracle's founder Larry Ellison and Andreessen Horowitz co-founder Mark Andreessen have been criticized for their strong support for you know who. All right, and they got 80% of TikTok now. I'm gonna show you. So just as this corrupt and unrest happened in Nepal, it's biblical prophecy and it's coming to Babylon the Great. Let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna start down here, cause I didn't already. I don't want to, get straight to the point. Okay. 2ndEsdras 15:14. All right. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now, when you look at this video here that I got queued up of what took place, this was on the news. We on it ain't on national American news, but this is what was taking place. Let's look at a little bit of this. All right, this was them taking up stones. All right, going to war with their authority. Let me turn it down a little bit. Actually, I'll leave it up.
All right, so let's start this broadcast with some breaking inputs that have come in, where protesters in Nepal have taken to the streets again despite the government revoking a ban on social media. The clashes between...
And like we read, it was more than social media. All right, social media was just the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. All right.
Between the protesters and the police on Monday had led to the death of at least about 19, and 400 others had been injured. Now, the Kathmandu District Administration Office has imposed an indefinite curfew inside of the Ring Road area of the Nepalese capital, reintroducing restriction just hours after an earlier order was lifted. The protesters are blocking the road outside of the Nepalese parliament. They're also targeting the residences of ministers in Kathmandu, hurling stones and also setting properties.
They going to the officials' homes. The people that are in charge of the laws and things they're going to their homes and burning their homes down. All right. This was a real one people shall stand up to fight against another. All right. And this energy is going to be spread throughout the entire planet Earth. And when it gets to Babylon, it's going to be deadly. It ain't going to be no turning back and fixing the government. It's going to be anarchy, chaos and destruction, mass death until Yahweh Shai returns, man, and totally destroys this place. All right. Now, you will have the opportunity to submit to the government. All right. For that RFID micro C-hip, all right, in places that they designate to be so-called safe zones, all right, to where they're going to have the control, okay? But outside of that will be total lawlessness, all right? Total lawlessness and anarchy, okay, just as you see here.
And fire, including that of the Minister of Communication and Information Technology, Prithvi Subhaguru.
Like I said, they only got sticks and stones. All right, they got sticks and stones, and the army when they came out had the guns and whatnot. Everybody knows here in Babylon the Great. All right, there are more registered weapons than there are citizens. So it's going to be a whole bloodbath out here, man. All right? Hot stones are going to be enthroned and be going through people. All right? This is why we read 2ndEsdras 15.
this is a moderate version of one people standing up to fight against another with swords in their hands. When it really gets cracking, it's gonna be the modern sword against the modern sword, especially here in Babylon. All right, these people just used what they had.
The body scanner reveals the brutal truth about.
Let's see. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the scripture from my phone while we watching this. Well, actually, because I want you to hear some of the things that's said. All right, because let me see.
A decision to lift the ban on social media sites was made after an emergency cabinet meeting late on Monday. The ban was put in place last week on sites which did not comply with the deadline to register with Nepal's Ministry of Communications and Information Technology. The KP Sharma Oli made the announcement blaming infiltration by various vested interest groups.
Infiltration by various Western interest groups. What you're seeing, people, is the New World Order being established. All right? That's what you're seeing. They have control of what the people want. So they ain't going back to normal. All right? They ain't going that interim minister they got up in there, the first woman, she's going to be approached. And she gonna have to do what they want to do. All right? This is the takeover of Esau Edom, the beast system, the NWO, the technocracy that they want to build throughout the entire planet. All right?
For Monday's violence. An investigation committee is now being formed to look into this violence. It's been given 15 days' time to prepare a report looking into the aspects of how the situation had escalated and also the possible factors behind it. Meanwhile, UNICEF has said that it is deeply alarmed by reports of violence against children. Now, the United Nations resident coordinator for the country has described the situation.
They burnt the tires here right in front.
Report from Kathmandu. Take a look.
Protesters are surrounding the parliament area. They burned the tires. They burned the tires here right in front of.
The parliament area is where the officials meet. All right, where they go and they have, just like Congress and things like that. All right, that's what they call it over there. All right, they burn that motherfucker down. But now they ain't got no government, and Esau Edom still has control over what they want. It's just now they, you know what I'm saying, without funding and things of that nature, how they going to rebuild? They're going to have to bend the knee. All right? This is what's getting ready to happen throughout all the planet. To send the people begging for a new solution. This is a part of it. All right? We're seeing the beginning stages. As a matter of fact, I said I'm going to pull up 2ndEsdras 9. Let me get that one ready. All right? Okay, any day now, man. All right, things are gonna turn up out here, and everything that's going on in Babylon, the pot is boiling. It's just a matter of time before shit starts spilling out the pot, and it falls off of the stove. All right. I got that one. 2ndEsdras 9. Let's read a little more here in 2ndEsdras 15. Verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." They go on to the parliament, and then as we watch more, she gonna tell you that they even going to different ministers' homes, prime ministers' homes, and burning their homes down. And then I got this video where they had to airlift them out of there, out of the parliament. Let's read. Watch this real quick. This will read when it says, "Army helicopters were seen rescuing Nepal ministers and their families," right? Because the people was out there, they regarded neither their kings nor princes. All right. So they had to have the government come get them out of there. Some clung to rope slings as they were airlifted from violent hit areas. You can't tell me this ain't biblical prophecy. All right. It's coming to America. The dramatic rescues came after Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Ali resigned and fled the country. All right. He's out of there because it's over for Nepal. They fell. All right. And Esau Edom is waiting for them to bend the knee and to bend to what he wants because he's in control of that country now. Watch. Guaranteed. All right. It says Kathmandu is under army control with stay-home orders in place, curfew. All right. Y'all did what y'all did, but now we got to regroup. And the regrouping ain't going to be nothing different. All right, Gen Z led mobs torched parliament and attacked homes of top leaders. See? They wasn't playing no games, man. And look who they got out there, man. Them is women, man. Okay? And the only reason they out there with them guns like that because the citizens don't have weapons. See, in America, the citizens have weapons also. Especially them good old Edomite boys. All right? That believe in freedom, that believe in the founding fathers and are very patriotic. You don't think they're going to get cracking when they find out they've been sold out to the small hat government? And they going to see how much they're being censored, and man, they're going to take to the streets and they're going to be armed to the teeth just like the government. Okay? And this is why they got the UN here. All right? You got all these different military vets that's ready to defend the Constitution, as they called it when they took their oath to defend the Constitution, both foreign and domestic. They take that shit serious. So it's going to be real bad here in Babylon, man. All right? It says Finance Minister Bishnu Podar was chased and beaten by protesters. Ooh, it's gonna be bad for a lot. You know what I'm saying? This is the Bible written all over it. Biblical prophecy. Former Prime Minister Sher Bahadar Duba was left bleeding before being rescued. And that's because the people ain't got firearms. They hitting them with rocks and just beating them up. You know what I'm saying? Chasing them. It says prisoners set jails on fire and tried to escape but were stopped by soldiers. So this is a fallen government right here. And as they recouping, Esau is in control of this place. All right? Because their leaders sold them out. So now you gonna bend the knee, or you gonna be out here totally starving. All right? So let's listen to a little bit more of this, and then we'll go back to 2ndEsdras 15 and 2ndEsdras 9, and that'll be
Parliament building. And now stone pelting has just begun from both the sides. Police officials are guarding the premises of the Parliament. They demand the resignation of the Prime Minister Oli's government. And they say that the rising corruption and widening inequality has tortured the civilians of the country.
rising corruption and widening inequality, meaning nepotism. The rich is staying rich and the poor is getting poorer. All right? If you're not a part of the club, you ain't going.
And that's why all the people and the young people, they leave the nation. As you can see, the stone pelting has begun. Both sides. Protesters have surrounded the parliament area.
And when them stones they throwing, them ain't little rocks. Them some big ass stones. You'll see when they gonna show more.
These kind of protests are taking place across the Kathmandu in different parts of the city, and also in front of the Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli's party office, CPN UML, as I'm hearing from the ground. And this is happening right in front of the Parliament building. of the Nepal. This is a federal.
You see how the emotions of the people are stirred up? That's why they out there. They emotions stirred up by oppression and wicked Western influence, right? How much more here in Babylon? You don't feel the emotions of the people being stirred up and the atmosphere changing? All right? You had this dude, Captain Kirk, what happened to him, and now you got these different responses, whether it be from the right or left, whether it be from Negroes or black people. All right? It's bringing the emotions to the head. All right? The emotions of the people are all wrapped up. Then you finding, you had at a Delta University in Mississippi, you had a young Jake, so-called black man, found hung bright and early in the morning from a tree in the middle of the campus. And I believe there was another one a little bit after that in New York somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Don't quote me on the second location, but I know for sure the first location in Mississippi. All right? So let's get back to a little bit of this.
Parliament of Nepal, and this is a protest happening here. It has been escalated since morning now, and additional authorities are being deployed around the premises.
All right, now joining us on the broadcast over the phone line is our correspondent Saloni Murarka, who's been tracking the developments very closely. Saloni, give us an update as to what is happening at this moment, because there are reports that are coming in which indicate that possibly the Nepalese Prime Minister and the President's house may also have been vandalized and perhaps set on fire.
Their houses, the police, all right? All these people who control society, the people went in and vandalized and burned and tore down their homes, all right? You don't think people know where these officials and politicians and police chiefs and whatnot live in Babylon? That's public information. All right?
These reports credible? What is happening at this moment?
They must stop giving conservatives this.
Look at this shit. This is why America gotta go, man.
Oh yes, since being protesters attacked about the offices, buildings of the leaders and of the political parties, and now Prime Minister's residence has also been on fire. Prime Minister.
Yeah, so you heard her say Prime Minister's residence, and then it went out for a little bit, and it says it had been set on fire. All right? So they were not playing. That's a fallen government over there in Nepal. They're done. All right? And when they do come back, it's going to be, you either get down with the get down, or you're going to be out there just out there. You're going to continue throwing rocks or getting shot. All right? What we're witnessing is the NWO being established, which is a part of end time prophecy. Okay? To where these Edomites are establishing this beast system. What was I at? 2nd Esdras 15, right? 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." All right? And just like over there in Nepal now, there's a stay-at-home order. All right? Because the military is in place. And this is likened to this scripture. "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right? The military taking over at that point. All right? Same thing going to happen here in Babylon, but it's going to be far worse. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." All right? Because it's going to be death. And I'm talking death. All right? Bodies laid out. Ain't nobody coming to get them bodies. All right? Because once the first shot lick off, that's the point of no return. The first, whether it be on Esau's side with his military, or whether it be on the civilian side. All right? First shots licked off, and the life is taken. And you see, like I mentioned, the Captain Kirk situation. You see how these Edomites are acting now. All right, which they're controlling the whole narrative of this thing, and they getting ready to snatch the control of TikTok and your so-called freedom of speech. All right, by this man here. All right, Ben Horowitz, which he's a part owner of TikTok now from the deal that was made. All right, 80% of it. Let me see. I mean, you could read up on him, but he's one of the guys. He's an American small hatter. All right, they placed themselves over here so that they can further the best for them in their plans, the small hatters' plans of the takeover of the planet, and establish the NWO. Man, that's Amalek. So let's go back to finish reading the scripture out, and then I think I want to. Let me see. I know I read where it said they own 80% of the deal. I know I read it somewhere, but if not, it's all good. Okay, but these are the people that has part ownership in TikTok now. Matter of fact, I think this is the one. Yeah, here it is. Ownership structure. U.S. investors, including software giant Oracle and venture capital firms Andreessen and Horowitz and Silver Lake, are set to control 80% of the new U.S. entity. All right? And the owners of these firms, this is one of them. All right? And I'm sure there's more amongst these demons. Salaki, I hit the back button. These different owners of these firms, I'm sure 90% go back to Amalek. All right? And this is the growing concern, as it's going to say. It says, Bystake TikTok's original Chinese owner, Bytes, will retain the remaining 20%. So he just getting paid. He ain't tripping. Just pay me. You know what I'm saying? It says control over data and algorithm. Oracle will manage U.S. user data, but TikTok will continue to use an algorithm licensed by ByteDance. This has led to ongoing concerns from some lawmakers about potential Chinese influence. It says government oversight and American-dominated board will oversee the new U.S. company, and one board member will be appointed by the U.S. government. Concerns about influence. While the deal does not involve the small hat government, some Philistines, if you know what I mean, right? See what my pointer is. Some Philistines advocates and critics have voiced concerns that the involvement of certain investors could lead to censorship of content related to the Philistines, all right, of this time. Because they're trying to, block out all that, and they want to control everything else, all right? Oracle's ties. The software company Oracle, a key investor, has chosen business and financial ties to the small hats. Investor background. Oracle's founder Larry Ellison and Andreessen Horowitz co-founder Mark Andreessen have been criticized for their strong support for the small hatters, right? So who's finna take over the social media? The small hatters, okay? Calls to address anti-Semitism. In September 25, the Small Hat Federations of North America wrote to DJT urging that any TikTok deal include measures to combat anti-Semitism on the platform. So you see where it's going. And once the people find out about it, then we're going to see 2ndEsdras 15 start to unravel that much more faster, just like we saw in Nepal. Okay? So back down, I left off here at 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's what you saw on a small scale, which really was a big scale in that country of Nepal, right? Matter of fact, let's see how the population of the country of Nepal, okay? Let's see. 29 million. That's a lot of people. Okay. And that's as of 2024. But that government is falling. So as we reading, the military's in place, and you can't just be out there like that. There's stay-at-home orders, right? So verse 19, it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor." When shit ain't getting put back together, anarchy, and the only way you can get some type of aid and help from the government now is getting down with the get down, ultimately the MOTB. All right. This is what's going to lead to unrest amongst fellow citizens, them attacking and robbing one another. This was going to happen, man. All right. And I'm speaking, I'm saying this is coming to America. It's already happening over there in Nepal, right? So this is the type of energy that's coming, and we see it brewing with everything that's happening here in Babylon, man. All right? And once the people find out that them small hatters have control over the social media and whatnot, I think come October something or the end of this month is when they going to flip the switch, and you're going to have to re-sign up or re-agree to the new terms and conditions. However they going to do it. All right? So it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, because of the anarchy, and for great tribulation." Right? So this is what's coming to Babylon. Now let's get 2ndEsdras 9. And I'm going to read these first few verses, and then that'll be it. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world," we in the time, we're seeing that. All right? And then not only is it just uproar, but we're seeing why the people are uproaring. All right? And they they have the power within their hand to uproar. All right? They not going for the oppression. So now comes the starving out game, the pilgrimage, the evils. All right? Anarchy. All right? When ain't nobody going to work. All right? Stores have been looted. Military have set up perimeter. All right? This is what's coming. Verse 4, "Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." All right? For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So where are we at? We in the end, man. All right? We in the time to where evils are going to continue to multiply in the planet. All right? It says, "Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs." And we getting ready to see some stuff out here, man. All right? But us, hopeful members of the elect, we don't have nothing to worry about because we are doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua in hope of that mercy that is said to be right here. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, right? And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. All right. So that's all. Not only is it informing us, but it's also our comfort. All right. The Lord is showing us the comfort. Look, when things like this get to happening, and far worse, the Lord is gonna be with us. When this when it flips over here to where you either have to get down or lay down and be off the grid, the Lord is gonna be with us, man. This type of energy is coming, and it's coming in the worst type of way in Babylon the Great. So like I said, Lord will, this was edifying to the hopeful elect. I know I was a little bit all over the place, but when the people find out about these small hatters, all right, they're going to lose it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shalom, shalom. On to the next video. Shalom.